Welcome to the channel. If you're enjoying this content, consider joining our channel membership, supporting us via super thanks, and allowing the advertisements to play fully, or at least for 30 seconds, to help us generate revenue. So, you're contemplating building your own private town, where solar panels power your fridge, everyone speaks the same language, and the only diversity is in the types of biltong at the local shop? Buckle up, because South Africa already hosts two such places, Orania and Kleinfontein. And trust me, they're not your typical gated communities. Picture this, the stern visage of Paul Kruger cast in bronze, the meticulous irrigation systems of Orania, the solemn monuments of Kleinfontein, and the fervent protests of the EFF. These aren't scenes from a dystopian film. They're snapshots of real places that exist today. Orania was established in 1991, just as apartheid was crumbling. A group of Afrikaners, led by Karel Boshoff, purchased a dilapidated town with the dream of creating a Volksstaat, a homeland for Afrikaners. They envisioned a place where their culture, language, and values could thrive without interference. Fast forward to today, and Orania boasts a population nearing 3,000, complete with its own currency, the Ora, and a strict admission process ensuring only those aligning with their ideals are allowed in. Kleinfontein followed suit in 1992, founded by 50 Afrikaners near Pretoria. Like Orania, it was built on the premise of cultural preservation. But let's be honest, when your idea of preserving culture involves excluding everyone who doesn't look or think like you, it's less about heritage and more about segregation. These towns claim to champion self-reliance and cultural pride, arguing they're merely exercising their constitutional right to self-determination. But let's not kid ourselves. Creating enclaves that are 97% white in a country as diverse as South Africa isn't just about culture. It's about control. Here's the kicker. While the rest of the country grapples with issues like load shedding and service delivery failures, these towns have managed to build their own infrastructure, maintain their own services, and even experiment with their own forms of currency. It's a level of autonomy many municipalities can only dream of. But at what cost? The very existence of these towns challenges the ideals of a unified, inclusive South Africa. They serve as stark reminders that for some, the end of apartheid didn't signify the end of segregation. It merely meant finding new ways to enforce it. So, if you're still keen on building your own little utopia, stay tuned. In the next segment, we'll delve into the legal gymnastics that make these towns possible and how they've managed to thrive under the radar. Think building your own town is just a pipe dream? Think again. In South Africa, it's not only possible, it's constitutional. Section 235 of the Constitution acknowledges the right of cultural groups to self-determination. Orania, established in 1991, exemplifies this. When the government attempted to dissolve its Transitional Representative Council in 2000, Orania took the matter to court. The High Court ruled in favor of Orania, allowing it to retain its council and governance structure. Ironically, the very constitution that political parties like the EFF invoke to champion inclusivity also safeguards Orania's right to exist as a culturally self-determined community. But Orania isn't just about legal victories, it's about building infrastructure from the ground up. The town operates on a share block company ownership model, allowing residents to collectively own and manage properties. Agriculture is a cornerstone of the local economy, with successful pecan farming and advanced irrigation systems, though not all ventures like dairy farming have thrived. In a bid for economic independence, Orania introduced its own currency, the Ora, pegged at a 1:1 exchange rate with the South African rand. The town has also invested in green energy, boasting a 1.4 megawatt solar farm and additional rooftop solar installations, making it largely independent from Eskom. Furthermore, Orania has developed its own sewage treatment facilities, ensuring self-sufficiency in essential services. While many municipalities struggle with basic service delivery, Orania has managed to build and maintain its infrastructure effectively. Culturally, Orania is distinct. The town celebrates holidays like Majuba Day and the Day of the Vow, commemorating historical events significant to Afrikaner heritage. Education is conducted in Afrikaans, with local schools achieving a 100% matric pass rate in 2021. The community maintains a low crime rate and houses a museum dedicated to Hendrik Verwoerd, a figure synonymous with apartheid. In April 2025, the EFF organized a protest under the banner "Orania must fall," aiming to challenge the town's exclusivity. However, such actions often have the unintended effect of drawing more attention to Orania, increasing interest and support for its model of self-determination. This scenario underscores a paradox. Attempts to dismantle Orania's model often end up reinforcing its visibility and appeal. Oh, so you think building a community is all about kumbaya and shared dreams? Think again. If you want to build something that actually stands, that doesn't crumble under the weight of idealism, you need a blueprint. And not just any blueprint, a blueprint that turns the system on its head and makes the critics your unpaid marketing team. Welcome to the Orania playbook. It's not for the faint of heart. And it's certainly not for those who believe in the fairy tale of universal harmony. This is for those who understand that if you want to build, you need to break a few molds. First, you need land. But not just any land. You need the kind of land that everyone else overlooks, the kind that's cheap because no one else wants it. Why? Because that's where the opportunity lies. While others are fighting over prime real estate, you're quietly acquiring the land that others deem worthless, and then you make it work. You transform it into something valuable, something that others will eventually envy. It's the art of seeing potential where others see problems. Next, governance. Forget about traditional systems bogged down by bureaucracy and inefficiency. You need a system that works for you, not against you. So, you privatize governance. You create a share block structure where ownership isn't just about holding a title deed. It's about being part of a community that shares a vision. It's about creating a system where decisions are made by those who have a stake in the outcome, not by faceless officials more interested in ticking boxes than making progress. But even the best systems are useless if you let just anyone in. So, you keep entry exclusive. You don't just let anyone walk through the door. You interview applicants. You ensure that those who join your community share your values, your vision, your commitment. Because a community is only as strong as the people who make it up. And you don't have room for those who don't align with what you're building. Once you've got the land and the right people, it's time to build. But not just any buildings. You build your own infrastructure. You don't wait for the government to provide roads, sewage, schools. You take matters into your own hands. You build what you need when you need it. You create a self-sustaining environment where everything works because you've made it work. It's about taking responsibility and not waiting for someone else to do it for you. And then you establish a legal shield. You use the Constitution better than your critics. You find the loopholes, exploit the grey areas, and create a framework that protects your community from external interference. Because if you're going to build something that stands the test of time, you need to ensure it's legally protected from those who would tear it down. Finally, you let your critics do your advertising. Every time they attack, every time they criticize, they give you free publicity. They draw attention to what you're building. They make people curious, and curiosity leads to interest. Interest leads to people wanting to be a part of what you're doing. So let them talk, let them rant, because with every word, they're helping you build. If your enemies are more useful than your friends, congratulations, you're an Oranian. Thanks for watching. If you found this insightful, consider joining our channel membership, supporting us via Super Thanks, and allowing the advertisements to play fully, or at least for 30 seconds, to help us generate revenue. Your support enables us to continue creating content like this.